Are you thinking about moving to Cleveland, Ohio? Let me give you the honest truth about what it's really like to live here. And when I say Cleveland, I'm really talking about the Cleveland area, the whole metro, not just the city limits. Because Cleveland is made up of vibrant suburbs, diverse neighborhoods, and communities that look very different depending on where you land. So in this video, we're going to cover the pros, the cons, and everything in between. Because while Cleveland has a lot to love, it's not for everyone. I'm Wesley Croft, a local realtor here in the Cleveland area. I've helped a lot of families relocate to Northeast Ohio. And this channel is all about giving you the real story of what it's like to live in Cleveland. No sugarcoating, just the facts you need before making your move. Let's start with one of the biggest pros, affordability. Cleveland is consistently ranked as one of the most affordable big cities in the United States. Housing prices across the Cleveland metro are far lower than in cities like Chicago, New York, or even Columbus. For example, in Chicago, $300,000 might get you a small condo or a townhouse. In the Cleveland area, that same budget could buy you a 4-bedroom, single-family home with a yard, maybe even in a nice suburb. That's a huge difference in lifestyle without a change in income. And it's not just home prices either. Property taxes here are higher than some areas, but when you combine mortgage costs, utilities, and general expenses, most families still find Cleveland far more affordable than where they're moving from. I've had clients from California and the East Coast who literally felt like they got a raise by moving here. And not because they changed jobs, but because their housing costs dropped so much. One family told me, we're finally able to save money each month. Back in New Jersey, we're just trying to keep our heads above water. That's the power of affordability in the Cleveland area. Of course, affordability comes with trade-offs. One of the biggest cons is the winter. Cleveland winters are no joke. We're talking about lake effect snow, long stretches of gray skies, and cold that just cuts through you. On average, Cleveland sees over 60 inches of snow per year. So that's a lot of shoveling, a lot of salting driveways, and yes, a lot of potholes created when the freeze-thaw cycle tears up the roads. Now, the closer you are to Lake Erie, the more intense the snow can be. In fact, you can literally drive 20 minutes inland and see a dramatic difference in snowfall. We call that the snow belt. People relocating from warmer climates often underestimate just how tough that adjustment can be. I had a client move here from Arizona, and after their first real snowfall, they texted me a picture of their driveway buried under 2 feet of snow with the caption, "What do I even do with this?" They ended up buying a snowblower the very next day, something that they'd never even thought about owning before. Now, winters aren't impossible, and a lot of locals actually love the change of seasons, but you need to be prepared for the reality of living in a northern city like Cleveland. Now let's talk about one of my personal favorite pros, the food and culture in Cleveland. Cleveland is absolutely a foodie city. If you love food, you're gonna love it here. We've got the West Side Market, which has been around for more than a century. You can find fresh produce, meats, cheeses, international foods. It's one of those places that makes you feel like you're part of the community. Then there's the restaurant scene. And you'll find everything from James Beard award-winning chefs to hole-in-the-wall diners serving pierogies that taste like grandma made them. The diversity is amazing. We've got Italian, Asian, Latin American, Middle Eastern. Cleveland has it all. And don't forget the breweries. Craft beer is huge here, and new spots are opening all the time. Culture goes beyond food, though. Cleveland has one of the top orchestras in the world, the Cleveland Orchestra. Playhouse Square is the largest performing arts center outside of New York City, which means you can see Broadway-level shows without paying Broadway prices. And, of course, you've got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which draws music fans from all over. So, when people ask, is there anything to do in Cleveland? The answer is a resounding yes. And I don't just mean in the city proper. The metro area is full of festivals, cultural events, entertainment options that make living here surprisingly rich. Now let's flip back to the cons, and this one is legendary. Cleveland roads. If you talk to locals, it won't take long before someone brings up the potholes. It's a running joke here that you need an off-road vehicle just to get down the highway in February. The truth is, our roads take a beating every winter, and repairs can't always keep up. Public transportation is another weak spot. Yes, we have the RTA system with buses and a rail line, but compared to larger cities, it's just limited. Most people in the Cleveland area, especially in the suburbs, rely on cars to get around. Now, the good news is that traffic isn't nearly as bad as it is in bigger metros. Most commutes fall in the 20 to 30 minute range, even from the outer suburbs. Now, for a lot of people relocating here, that's a huge win. Still, you'll want to factor in road conditions and car maintenance as a part of daily life here in Northeast Ohio. Now let's talk about something that's pure Cleveland, sports. Clevelanders are fiercely loyal to their teams, the Browns, the Guardians, the Cavs. It doesn't matter how many heartbreak seasons we've had, the loyalty never wavers. Sports aren't just games here, they're part of the community identity. If you've ever been downtown after a big Cavs win, you know the energy is electric. I was there the night the Cavs won the championship in 2016, and the streets were filled with people hugging, cheering, and even crying tears of joy. Now that kind of moment captures what Cleveland sports are all about. Even when the Browns struggle, and let's be honest, that happens a lot, fans fill the stadium and they keep coming back. Now that loyalty says something about the resilience of the people here. Sports are woven into the fabric of Cleveland, and it's not just the city. You'll feel that same pride and energy across the entire metro area. Next up is the job market, and this one is a little more complex. On the pro side, Cleveland is world-renowned for healthcare. The Cleveland Clinic and University hospitals are two of the best healthcare systems in the world. So if you're a doctor, nurse, or you work in healthcare, Cleveland is an amazing place to be. Manufacturing also has a strong presence here, carrying forward Cleveland's industrial roots. So for people in skilled trades, there are really good opportunities. But for other industries, especially tech, opportunities can feel more limited. Cities like Austin, Nashville, or Denver have booming startup scenes that Cleveland just doesn't match. So if you're in certain fields, you might find fewer options here. That said, remote work has completely changed the game. Many of my clients move here because they can keep their higher paying jobs from other cities while enjoying the lower cost of living that the Cleveland area provides. Now it's a win-win. You have a big city salary and Midwest affordability. Here's a pro that often gets overlooked: Lake Erie and the outdoor lifestyle. So Cleveland sits right on the lake, and that opens up a world of opportunities. In the summer, you'll see people boating, fishing, swimming, and just hanging out on the beaches. Edgewater Park, for example, is a favorite spot for families. Now beyond the lake, Cleveland is surrounded by the metro parks, which are a huge system of parks, trails, and nature preserves. Locals call it the Emerald Necklace because it wraps around the city. Hiking, biking, picnicking, it's all right there. And if you're into day trips, you can drive to the Lake Erie Islands, places like Put-in Bay or Kelly's Island for a little getaway. Outdoor living is a big part of life here, especially when the weather finally warms up. Finally, one more con, and it's about perception. Cleveland has carried the Rust Belt reputation for decades. Movies and TV shows sometimes paint it as this struggling industrial city stuck in the past. The infamous mistake on the lake nickname still lingers, even though it's really not fair. Here's what's interesting. When clients move to the Cleveland area, they often say, "This is not what I expected." They're surprised by the charm of the suburbs, the green space, the cultural richness, and the affordability. The reputation doesn't always match the reality. Now still, you may have friends or family ask, why Cleveland? And if you move here, you'll probably end up being the one who explains what makes the city and the suburbs special. So that's my honest breakdown of the biggest pros and cons of living in the Cleveland area. Notice I said area, because if you're moving here, you're not limited to downtown Cleveland. You're really choosing from a wide range of options across the metro. There are neighborhoods and suburbs that fit almost every lifestyle. So from vibrant city life to quiet suburban streets. And that's what makes Cleveland unique. It's not just one thing, it's many things. And here's the thing, if you're thinking about making a move to Cleveland, whether that's next week or next year, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. Days, nights, weekends, I've got your back when moving to Cleveland.